kids, comics. Silverhaired Bronze Age babe here, yakking about her comic book collection, and today another episode of Women's Libbers from Space. This tale comes to us from 1964 in Adventure Comics. This is not the first time that the Legionnaires feature prominently in a tale of women's libbers from space. I guess it makes sense because there's actually female Legionnaires, so something to talk about. This story is, first of all, just take a look at Supergirl's mug there. It's like, I don't know, that is... I just noticed that. Looks very, very unhappy. The story starts with the girls basically deciding which superhero they are going to do away with. And so they each pick one to be, I don't know, basically I'm gonna thwart you, and they all seem to use their feminine wiles to lull the guys into a sense of complacency. Look, there's another kiss, and lots of making out in this one. And then they lure them to, you know, their supposed demise, or at least into caves where they'll just wilt away. It's hard to kind of explain the story because, like most Legionnaire stories, I just have a hard time. The thing that I want to share with you, though, is I think this is the panel that this is the comic book that Rush Limbaugh must have read at some point, because you find out that the gal Legionnaires are actually the victim of brainwashing from Queen Azura, the ruler of the planet Femnaz. Feminazi, get it? And it was inhabited by women only. And the reason that Femnaz was just for gals is because the men on that planet, they wouldn't do any fighting themselves, so they forced the women to become warriors and do physical battle. And then the women also had their own kind of spiritual worship that required them to shoot rockets at their moon. And the men were like, well, if you keep doing that, you're going to blow up the moon. And so they basically took the men of their planet and put them on little space arcs and, like, get out of our way. They kept shooting rockets up into the moon split open, and it was all going to be disastrous for them. But luckily, a couple of the boy Legionnaires were in the neighborhood and saved them from the falling moon and brought back the men from the space arcs. And then the leader of Femnaz, I realize now we were wrong in trying to harm boy Legionnaires. If not for male superheroes, our world would have suffered a terrible disaster. The Legion craft has returned to Earth now. I apologize, girls. Farewell. So, you know, the spell is broken and all is returned. But meanwhile, the guys who were on the receiving end of some romantic attention were like, well, we're glad you're back, but gee, too bad the girls weren't on the level about those romances, but who knows what the future may bring. So there you have it, another story of women's libbers from outer space. Thanks so much for stopping by. I'll see you next time.